Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report, brought to you by Sportsmen's Direct. It is Thursday, December 2nd, and man, the lake is cooling off. It's cooling off really nice. I checked earlier today, and the water temp at Belle Isle was 41 degrees, so we are really getting close to that magic 39 number, but honestly, it almost doesn't matter now. If you've been in and around the lake, I mean, even for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, you'll have noticed that every night when we drop below freezing now, canals are skimming over. I mean, the ditches and everything are skimming over or staying froze over. I mean, today, obviously, we got up to 50 degrees, so all that ice is gone. But point is, the canals and nearshore areas are more than cold enough to freeze. We're really just waiting on the next real shot of cold air to lock the canals and the backwaters up. And I drove up close to, well, actually up to Port Huron a couple of days ago, and those smaller lakes all around there were frozen. Some of them had some snow on them. Again, I'm sure today wiped that ice out up there, because I mean, it did get up to 50, and we got a lot of wind out there right now, and that'll just eat away, at any of that relatively thin surface ice. But point is, we're ready to go. So we're just waiting on the next cold snap, and she's going to lock everything up down here, and then we'll start making some thickness, hopefully. Now, I did call up to Lyman's up on Houghton Lake to get a report for you guys today, and they're basically in the same boat as we are right now. I mean, which is kind of interesting. They're like right on that cusp of making ice. They're a little bit ahead because Kurt was telling me that a few of the guys did venture out just to get bragging rights, just like they do down here on that 1.5 inch scary stuff. And so they could say they were already on the ice, first ice and all that. So the guys have been on it, but he said he thought that ice was completely gone when I talked to him this afternoon. So what little ice they had, I think, is gone. So they're waiting on the next cold shot. But for them, I think the next cold shot's going to come next week. And then we'll see what happens by next weekend. I'll give a call up there and get some updates for you next week. If we don't do a video next week, I'll at least post something on our Facebook page if they have walkable, fishable ice up there, because I know a lot of you guys are chomping at the bit to go somewhere and walk on the hard water. So enough about that. For right now down here, a lot of guys are, well, I shouldn't say a lot of guys. I should preface that. Some guys are still going out fishing, because if you're going out in a boat this time of the year, you have to actually dress warmer than ice fishing gear, because especially in an aluminum boat, it's pretty darn chilly out there when you're only in the 30s and you're standing on aluminum, and you get aluminum all around you, and you're getting hit by spray when you're driving. But the guys that are going out are catching a lot of walleyes right now, especially down on that south end from 9 Mile all the way down to the Detroit River. Now, it's not necessarily every day and all the time, but when those fish turn on and the guys get them dialed in, like Don Murray and his buddy did out there the other day, you can just pound them, and they're really nice fish. Now, one thing I will say about this size and quality of fish, when you start getting these 3 and 4 and 5 pound fish, if you're going to keep big fish like that and you're going to clean them, don't waste anything on them. And one of the things on these bigger fish that guys love to do is take those cheeks out. And those cheeks are just fantastic. And I usually don't put food pictures in the videos, but Don had a nice shot of pan frying some of those walleye cheeks, so I couldn't resist in putting that picture in there, because that's one of those things. Usually I'll save the cheeks and keep them separate, and do a separate little meal with the pan fried cheeks. And the texture is completely different if you haven't tasted it before or eaten them before. The flavor is a little different too. It's almost like a scallop, but they are very good. So that's my spiel about the walleye cheeks. But anyways, so yeah, the walleye bite's been going good. Guys casting from shore down here are still catching walleye, although the water clarity has been kind of up and down and all over the place with all these different fronts coming in. And I was looking at satellite imagery today, and Canadian side's pretty much looked trashed, but the American side, I was kind of surprised. I actually was able to get a decent satellite image today with all the cloud cover that we've had. But yeah, the water on our side didn't look too bad. Although I'm sure just with this wind blowing right now, actually it was blowing out of the west, so it might be cleaning it up. But and some of the nearshore stuff was probably getting pretty funky from some of the winds that we've had. So it might take it a day or so to settle back down, or this west wind pushing everything out might clean it up. But anyways, guys from shore have been catching walleyes at night. The canals and the marinas, been getting a lot of reports of perch. Actually, for about the last 10 days, perch showing up in the different canals. But the problem with the perch right now, without being able to get on the ice and chase them, is they're here today and gone tomorrow. So, you got a school of fish out in front of wherever you got access in the canals, and you catch them today, and then you go back, and that school might only be 100 yards down the canal, but if you don't have access to that property to get out and cast to them, you can't catch them unless you're in there in a small boat or a kayak. Ding, ding, ding for all you guys that want to go out and do that. So small boats and kayaks in the marinas right now, you ought to be able to really pound some big perch, bluegills and crappies. And right now, from everything that we're seeing from the guys that are coming in and giving us reports, the quality of the fish this year, just like everything else, is really good. Even the bluegills and the sunnies look great, and some of these early crappies that the guys are getting are really big too. So really looking forward to the upcoming ice fishing season. St. Clair River was going great guns on for the walleye jiggers up there, and the guys that were still whipping at night. But I think the weather now is going to slow them down a little bit. But the guys were jigging up there, and they were tearing them up in Port Huron. And I heard the whippers were doing really good at night too. But the same thing goes for that, right? Sitting out in a little aluminum boat when it's only 30 degrees outside, it's not for everybody. It's not for me. I ain't doing it. But for you guys that are hardcore and want to go out there and catch some fish, you can definitely still do that up there as well. Don't want to leave you musky guys out on all this, although I know a lot of you guys probably put the musky stuff away, but that spillway and the nearshore activity here on all along the shoreline has really been good for the last couple of weeks, and it probably will stay good all the way into December, all the way into ice up. One of the guys that comes in all the time, I know Mike Coleman, I was talking with him the other day, and he's taken 14 fish off his shore in the last 2 weeks, and he's taken 4 over 50. So, I mean, those are some serious quality fish, especially from shore. I mean, where else in the world can you do that? So if you're really trying to, if you're not a musky guy and you're really trying to, tick that bucket list off, now would be a great time to go out and cast for skis from shore. Any of these public access locations, it's worth doing it this time of the year. And I've got another shipment of Muskie Innovation swim dogs coming in. Hopefully they'll be in early next week as well, because it's those big plastic, especially the paddle tails. A lot of guys are throwing that paddle tail style bait, Poseidons and the swim dogs this time of the year. And those are big baits though, so that's like muskie tackle bait. There's smaller baits. You can catch muskies on bombers and all kinds of stuff this time of the year. So kind of match your tackle, match your lures with the rods and reels that you're using. And you don't have to throw musky sized baits to catch fish this time of the year. You can scale it down and throw that walleye stuff too. So and you can catch muskies at night as well. So it's not just a daytime thing. So if you got a chance to get out and you get some decent weather, get out and give that a try. That's kind of all I got. I mean, a lot of guys were just getting off the hunting thing, right? So most of the reports and there's a lot of guys, I know guys going up north again this weekend hunting for deer, trying to fill those last doe tags and stuff. So right now the lake is pretty empty, and a lot of guys are hunting. So if you are down here and the weather straightens out enough and you got a place to go, especially one of these canals, it'd be a good bet to get out there and give it a shot. We got a lot of new stuff coming in, especially a lot of like panfish stuff coming in right now, getting ready for the winter time. And a lot of stuff's going to be hard to get later in the season, I'm sure. So if you're out and about and in the neighborhood, stop in, and maybe a good time to stock up on some of that stuff that may be harder or almost impossible to get later in the season. We'll look for you next week, and like I said, if I don't do a video next week, we'll try to do some update, especially if we have news up coming from further north as far as ice conditions goes. We'll try to post it on our Facebook page. Take care, and we'll see you in the shop. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.